inside this box is a puzzle that I have had on my wish list for years, and I'm so excited to open it up today. I wasn't originally planning on buying it anytime soon, but luckily you guys used my links on Amazon. So this is almost like a subscriber sponsored my video because I could not have gotten this unless you had used those. So thank you so much. Also, just because I have to mention it, someone mentioned the other day that when I said Leavenworth, they were like, wait, what? Thinking I was talking about the prison. There's a Leavenworth, Washington, which is like an hour away from us. So, but we're just gonna dive into this box and I'll show you a puzzle and we're going to start it today. I don't know if I'll finish it in May, but I'm excited to share with you what's inside. So let's just get into this. All right, I got my knife. Please be careful if you're opening up your boxes. I'm just gonna dive right into this and see it in person for the first time. It literally just arrived a few minutes ago and I couldn't wait. So for a few videos in May, I'm going to do it probably in multiple parts. We are going to be working on this 4,800 piece puzzle. I am so excited. This is by Pin2. This has been on my wish list for a while now. It's one of like those dream puzzles, like maybe someday I'll get it. It's quite pricey. It was like $100 and something, but if you are buying 4 1,000 piece puzzles, it equals about the same price. So do with that information what you will, but for me, it was a splurge and I'm excited to do it. I'm curious to see what it looks like. I heard it's in multiple bags, but multiple bags in different piece counts. So we're just gonna discover this whole thing together. But first up, let me show you the full image, which is adorable. The artist is David McLean and it's called Window Cats. So it's a very bookish inspired puzzle. We have this beautiful window scene, which we'll see how that goes. We have books all over the place. We have cats all over the place with some toys. It looks like it's a little bit softer of an image, so it might be kind of tricky, but I'm hoping with the broken up bags, it will be very doable. I also want to mention that the one behind me is also Pin2. This one is 4,000 pieces. Sadly, I cannot reuse the frame because this one's a little bit larger. So eventually I'll have to save up for the frame to replace this guy. But this one is super fun. It's called 160 Cats. I have a whole series on my channel about it. But today we're gonna open up this one and see what it looks like. And if you're just tuning into Everyday May, hello and welcome. This is the first like almost real-time video because I've run out of all the ones that I've had previously planned. And now it's more, I'm doing it and then posting it the next day. So it's going to be probably just a shorter one. I'm not sure how far I'll get today. Again, it might be on multiple parts, but maybe not consecutive. Like, we'll just see how the rest of this month goes. But happy mid-May. Have you been enjoying Everyday May? For me, it's a lot of prep work and it's been a lot of editing and getting things situated, but it's been fun trying out a whole bunch of like different style of videos. So we are going into a large piece puzzle and this is not the plan for May. I'm just excited about it though. Let's take this off. All right, here is the box. Nothing super spectacular about it. We have the full image here, artist information. This, on the side it says the puzzleabilities are endless. They are also the same parent company to Piece Relax. If you've liked their puzzles, this one is going to be very similar. It is plastic pieces, which may be tricky if you have like gripping issues or if you have kind of dexterity issues because it can require a little bit of force. Especially sometimes where my thumbs have been a little achy due to the fit of it being so incredibly tight, but I have really enjoyed them. We're just gonna dive into this box and I'm so excited. Alrighty, we have a fun orange box. Here's information actually about Piece Relax, which is again, their sister company. We have the poster, which is a nice size, not super jumbo for the size of a piece count. The image looks so fun. I have a feeling this side is going to be tricky because there's just like the inside of books, like they put them in there backwards and it can It just looks like pages, which might be tricky. Also, the window area, we'll see how that is, just because it looks a little bit faded and the image, like on purpose, like it's obviously looking through the window, but it looks like it's not as bright. I think the curtains either could be hard or easy depending on how they divided up the pieces. And then over here we have the books, which I don't think will be too bad. There's like good clumps all together. And I do think the part where it's the cats down here would be a little bit easier because you have the cats and different elements to work with. So we'll see what I get first. But let's just take a peek at these bags because from what I know, they are in multiple piece counts. So it's not just you doing like 4 completely divided up equally sections. You're doing like almost like a steps challenge going through these bags. So let's just take this all out and we'll discover this together. All right, here we go. We have 10 bags in total, which makes it much more manageable than a straight 4,800 piece puzzle. If you're wanting the challenge, you can definitely dump it all together and do it that way. I'm someone who doesn't like to do that because I want to make sure I can have my puzzle space when I need to. So I'm just going to do it section by section. But if you can see, the bags are all different sizes. And I'll put the actual piece counts on the screen so you guys can see which bag is which piece count. But I think we have as low as 300 pieces and then up to 1,200 pieces or something like that. So again, I'll put the actual information on the screen. I do kind of wish it had it on the bag itself, so that way I can know what I'm getting into before opening up the bag. But let's just do bag 1 together. I'm assuming, this is how I'm thinking, I'm assuming this is in order of the actual image. So if that's the case, bag 1 would be probably over this corner section. Where the bigger bags are actually this middle section, which is actually the trickier area. So we'll see how this ends up, but I'm thinking I'm going to start with box number 1 or bag number 1. All right, let's go into puzzle number 1. One thing that might be different for you if you haven't done this brand is that all the edges actually come like this. They're all just the same exact thing. Where there's just like the frame that would go inside the actual frame that you can buy separately. And so the pieces themselves don't have edge pieces, but you can see which pieces are supposed to be the edges, at least on 2 of the edges this time around because we are doing a larger puzzle. But if you can see, this one's like a white slice down the middle, and that would be an actual edge piece. But I'm excited to do it. There's like plastic string. All right, so I have just a few things sorted out. We have this book, which doesn't look like it would be too many pieces in the image, but obviously with it blown up so big, we actually do have quite a bit of pieces for this little book. We have some newspaper sections, which I didn't actually sort out, but I can easily see them. And then we have the edges down here, which again is just going to be 2 edges worth. So we can also see some cat pieces. There are quite a bit of dark pieces, which is going to be the corner. And we're just gonna see what comes of this by thinking this section isn't going to be super, super hard because it is such a small piece count in this little segment. But, oh, we also have this little red line that I'm going to be working on as well, apparently, just because it grabbed my attention and I don't know what, oh, it's the ladder. Okay, we'll do the ladder too. So a good sortable little section. I am happy I'm doing it in different bags, which may be cheating on your end, but for me, I want to make sure I can take it away and do other things on this table if I need to, if I want to take a break. It's not like it's taking up all my space, and I can store it separately. So those are my thoughts. We're just gonna get into puzzling this section. right, so I've made a little bit of progress. We have the edge section together. Since it's the plastic pieces, this one stays together really well. You can move whole things, like a very good fit. So, but so far, liking it. It is dark in this corner, but that's what it shows in the image. So it's not like it printed dark as far as I can tell. It seems to be a pretty clear printing. We'll see how the rest of it goes. I had done one puzzle from them where it was grainy for, I think it was a 2,000 piece, but so far this one seems fine. And I like it so far. So that's my thoughts, and we'll keep going. But this is a just little small 300 piece section, which makes it, it's almost like tiptoeing into it, and I like it. I mean, it is tricky because it's such a blown out image, so like sections are much bigger than what you'd think. All right, we have the first segment done. As you can see, I can pick up the whole thing. It is a little bit dark over in this corner, but it looks pretty comparable to what I see on the poster. But definitely got tricky around these books. It's definitely like a smidge, like a tiny bit darker. But this is the darkest segment of the puzzle. So I think going forward, it's going to be a bit easier, other than the fact that the bags of pieces get bigger. So let's do the second bag, and that'll be today's video. I think I will do I want to do two, or do I want to do the one next to it? Part of me wants to go like this way and then up, so I think I'll do the next bag, but it's not number 2. I think it's, I'm guessing number 3. We'll see how many pieces that one has. I lied. I think it's bag number 4, just from some of the pieces that I'm looking at. So I'm guessing this is like 500 pieces. This one definitely felt like they're 300 piece ones. So put that over here, but it will connect right on this row. So we'll have some newspapers, a couple kitties, a little bit of flooring. This segment of flooring might be a little bit tricky, but it does look like there's a gradient to it. And I'm assuming it also breaks off here, maybe goes bigger. I'm not quite sure how it's going to line up, but let's just open up the bags and pieces. I personally will be having dinner in just a little bit, but for you, just be a second. It is much later. Dave is in bed, and I started working on this puzzle again, and I'm loving this section. I was charging things, and my mic is still not here, but I wanted to tune in on where I am currently. I was like, I'll just do a couple pieces as I'm waiting. Sorry, I got ahead of myself, but I have a plan now, so I feel like that's good. So let me show you where I'm at, and we'll continue on together. All right, first up, I will show you an up-close version of the first section, which I really like. As you can tell down here, gets pretty dark, but it was dark like that in the image. And we have a little kitty already here, and we got most of a kitty here. But overall, I am really happy with it. Nice little corner segment. And then it continues on the bottom. I have the edge done. I have some newspapers sorted, but it's actually a few different newspaper segments. But I've been actually working on this section of the ground, which was just like a gradient gray, which went together really quickly. And now I'm moving upward. I'll show you the image. So I'm just working on this little segment here, and so I'm gonna go upwards into that window. So I think I'll do that section first. That will get rid of quite a bit of puzzle pieces, and I'm really enjoying it. So once that's done, I'll probably move on to these books or this windowsill and the background there. I feel like the newspapers are trickier than I expected, but we have like this pile here, and we have the book that the kitty's on, and I'm not quite sure if this segment goes all the way over to that pile of newspapers. We'll see, but this is like the little segment that I'm working on. Alright, so we are making some pretty good progress. Ignore this section, which is newspaper pieces and book. It looks like this is a book piece. But so far I have gotten pretty far. I have this whole little window section, which it is going out further than I was expecting. It's almost to the halfway point of the puzzle. Hopefully you can see it. So I'm ending pretty much right here, which it's pretty close to the center of the puzzle. If not, it is the center of the puzzle. And then it goes only to here. So I'm doing like this one little, almost the whole quadrant, I guess. I wouldn't say I'm a quarter way of the way done, but I am feeling pretty good about where I'm at. I do think I'll finish this just in about an hour. So far, I really have been enjoying it. I have noticed a couple times the pieces were a little bit wrong. So you could run into false fits. Now I'm not sure how big their die is where it's like a copy paste, but I did notice that some things needed to be shuffled around, especially up here, but I think it's fine currently. You can see actually, if you look at this section, it does kind of go every other. So there is a good possibility that they do a repeating pattern along the way. So there could actually be true false fits. Not sure though. Either way though, the image is fun and it's small enough segments right now that it's not too much of an issue. So I think it would be tricky though if you dumped all the pieces together. So if that's your style, it might not work out the best for you. But I do also want to mention that I love that it is broken up into bags. I feel it makes it a lot more accessible for people who want to do a larger piece count to be able to, maybe due to space restrictions. So I kind of love that it kind of gives people who want to do little segments at a time a chance to do a larger piece count. But now that I caught you up on how it's going, I'll probably try to finish it up within a little bit. And yeah, so far so good. I'm still finding pieces fine. I do think the newspaper might be a little bit tricky, but I'm also wondering where this piece is. If you see it, let me know. I'm not sure if pieces have fallen. I think a couple of pieces have fallen off the table due to a low-key help. So we'll see how that goes. right, this section is done and it is so cute. I have five little kitties happening, and I'm about a fifth of the way done with this puzzle already and feeling pretty good about it. I have noticed a few instances where pieces are in the wrong spot. Enough to notice, but not enough to get annoyed, you know? And I'm loving the image. And again, it's smaller sections. I think if you had all the puzzle pieces together, you might be a little bit more frustrated. But for me, not too bad. I had only a couple instances where I really had to push hard on my thumbs to get them to be in the right place. Other than that, the fit wasn't too tight. Sometimes it can be too tight. This time it was okay. But the image is looking pretty good. Doesn't look like it's printed too dark. I mean, the dark areas are just where it's dark in the puzzle anyways. Maybe a smidgen darker, but nothing compared to like other brands. So I'll show you what it looks like, and I think I'm gonna have to call it a night after that. I'll lift it up so you can see it a little bit better, but we have the ladder. We have some kitties going. I'm loving it. Not too much fur, which I was a little worried about at first, just because, I mean, it's a larger piece puzzle, but the kitties are small enough that it's not too bad. But this is what the section looks like. I think it's coming out so well. But that is it from today's video. I might continue this on tomorrow. I might not. We'll see. But I, so far, have been liking it. If I am going to at least puzzle it tomorrow, I'm not sure if I'll be able to post it in time for the next video. But we will definitely continue this on throughout May. Just not sure if we'll finish in May or if I'll do a ton of videos on it. But I did want to start it because it arrived today and I was really excited and wanted to share with you. So if you've done one from this piece count, let me know. I will link it down below, as well as their other stuff if you're interested. Again, I have done this one from them. I've done a 2,000 piece, a 1,200 piece, and lots of smaller piece counts too. And they are fun. So that's it for me. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye guys.